Manchester United fires blanks against Aston Villa, but a point will do, some will say. Question is it good enough to keep the job of Erik ten Hag? Listen, his fate is out of his hands because the entire Manchester United hierarchy was there watching. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Dave Brailsford, Omar Berada and co were all there in the director's box watching as Man United struggled to at least salvage something against Aston Villa. What exactly is bound to happen? We do know that there will be an executive meeting happening in London that will be tomorrow. Question is, what will come out of that meeting? Has his fate been decided already? Well, what do you expect? I'm going to give you my expectations, but not before I react to this game. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe, and let's get proper into this Manchester United talk. Now, listen, a draw is not good enough, obviously, because under Sir Alex Ferguson, we are used to beating Aston Villa wherever we met them in most cases. But listen, with 8 points, that is 2 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses, this is Man United FC's lowest tally in their opening 7 matches of a league season since 1989-1990. In that season, Sir Alex Ferguson went on to finish in his all-time low as manager at Man United. That was 13th. That is his lowest ever as coach of Manchester United. Now, that is history, but I'll tell you, we've got a lot to focus on in the present. Let me not dwell on the history. Let me dwell on that performance. First of all, whereas all of us questioned the starting 11 for Manchester United, I actually want to give a bit of credit to Erik ten Hag because at least he had the balls and the nerves to change something about the team. You don't do the same things every day and expect different results. I feel like he was bold to make changes. Johnny Evans and Maguire starting in central defense ahead of Mathis De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. Evans eventually being man of the match in that game, deservedly, because again, there was not so much to write home about when it came to all the other players, both for Man United and Aston Villa, by the way. It was a very controlled performance. Probably the fatigue from the midweek from Europe. I think you can see now that there's so many games played by these lads that are taking their toll on them. You clearly saw that Aston Villa were not sharp at all. I think that was the advantage of Man United because trust you me, if Oli Watkins was as sharp as he should be, I think Evans and Maguire would probably have little to no chance. But the thing is, for me, that was a reaction from Erik ten Hag because I've been consistently here saying that the biggest weakness I've been seeing with Man United has been De Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. I think they haven't been looking solid in the back line. So him changing that, I think for me, is a sign that at least he had the balls to change something. That's one. Two, I felt like Erik ten Hag was a little more present. I think it was after the comments that came through from Benny McCarthy. I felt like Erik ten Hag, as you can see in that picture, was more present on the touchline, playing around with his team. I saw a rare moment where I think the player had been stopped because of, I think, an injury. Some player, I think, was down. An Aston Villa player was down, and Erik ten Hag calls, I think it was Kobe Maino and Victor Lindelof, and he gives them instructions in a way that is a bit rare. You would see when you had a good attempt, you would see him cheering the lads on the bench and even looking in the stands when a good moment came. I think it's Marcus Rashford who had a good run, and you saw Erik ten Hag cheering and looking in the stands to see if I think people are happy and impressed. You can see that at least he's trying to adjust and pass on the passion that has been lacking in him on the touchline. Probably someone told him about it, but is that enough? Remember that these men, that is Ineos, are going to be having an executive meeting in London. That is tomorrow, Monday. And that executive meeting is not obviously to discuss how they are going to divide the profits they have got. No, it's obviously going to be discussing the status of Erik ten Hag and his performances that have been below par or below average. So what will come out of that? Many feel this could be Erik ten Hag's last game in charge of Man United. Some feel so. Well, there are those who feel like he could stay a bit longer. I've had players trying to express their backing towards the manager. Talking about how they hope they have stability. The lead spoke about how he hasn't had the same manager for more than a year in his career. I mean, guys keep changing and stuff. Well, we've had that, but I think the reality is things have got to to change. What Ineos have got to do has got to be to try and help the team do better. But the other positive I saw in terms of the game today was the fact that, and never mind me questioning the choice of Kobe Maino and Christian Eriksen as the two holding midfielders. I felt actually they were a little disciplined. Again, I keep talking about how we struggle in the middle because we don't organize our midfield well. I felt this time though that Eric Ten Hag, I think, employed Christian Eriksen to be patient, Kobe as well to be patient. They were all seated there as holding midfielders, and that's why we are not leaking a lot from the middle. They did not really move so much ahead. They try to keep within their zones and stay there. And I thought it was part of the reasons why you never really felt we neutralized the pressure that could have come from Aston Villa. You never really felt at one point like where there were overloads on our midfield, like we're under pressure, like we're really cornered because Eriksen and Kobe were not doing so much in terms of helping the attack. They were a little more disciplined. Even Bruno, I feel like a little bit this time was not as all over the place as we are used to him. So you realize that when we don't complicate football and everyone, we decentralize roles and everyone is playing their role, the load is less on everyone. So I thought that was another positive I saw in this game. The other things I saw is uh, the fact that uh, we, we 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 don't look we don't look like we build our patterns with a purpose, and I'll explain what I mean. I feel like if if I ask you a question, what was our game plan in terms of the attack? How were we setting out to attack? You can struggle to give me an answer because it doesn't look, and that's why Rasmus Højlund was lost in the game until he was substituted. I don't feel like we play for our number 9. Like there is a plan for us to build play to try and get the ball to our target man. Because when you have a false 9, it's understandable. But if you have a natural striker, number 9 in Højlund, as good as him, because we know his potential, you need to have a playing style and pattern that is going to get the ball to him to give him chances of scoring. I feel like the way you play is wayward. It's all over the place. And again, I will still beg the question, which we begged for the most part of last season, is what is our playing style? I did not see a playing style in how we performed. For me, it was just another neutralized performance from two tired teams that were a bit coy, that were not willing to give away so much. United wanted the draw. They were just playing for that. Aston Villa were also tired. The manager was more energetic than the players, so they did not have the fire in them. So it was just another controlled performance. Aston Villa struggled to get their first shot on target. I think it came in the second half. Man United had a few, I think, but they were still not ones that you would, write home about, except the free kick from Bruno, a rare one though, by the way. Credit to him. But yeah, by and large, it was a controlled performance, and I think the result is a fair reflection of how the entire game was. In terms of player ratings, out of 10, I think, of course, Andre Onana, not so many questions asked of him. I would give him a 5 out of 10, really. They didn't ask him many questions. In the right, Mazraoui did not have his best of games. No wonder he was, of course, put off later on. I will not rate him because he did not play the entire 90 minutes. Central defense, or our backline, I'll give it. But Dalot was, I think, and Evans were our better players in the backline. Dalot for the fact that he saved, I think, a moment where we could have, I think, been crying and shouting different now. But Dalot blocked a beautiful shot that could have easily been a goal. Evans, again, class is permanent, they say, proved it a bit. At his age, he was more calm and composed and trying things even with his left foot. In the middle, Kobe, I feel like Kobe is a shadow of himself. And again, I will insist he's played out of position, but I'll give him a 5.5 out of 10. Eriksen, for his discipline, I would give him a 6 out of 10. I would give Bruno a 6 out of 10 or 6.5. Then Garnacho, again, trying out things, not working. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. Rashford had a few moments. Our first chance, the shot on target came through him. I would give him a 6.5, 2 out of 10. Højlund was invisible. I would give him a 5 out of 10. It was really, by and large, another, another day for Man United, another controlled performance for Man United. But anyhow, that was it. That's the game we had. So it's the international break coming on. Question is, who will be Man United manager? after the break. I saw Eric Ten Hag speaking to Ruud van Nistelrooy. I think they had a deep conversation. I don't know what they were talking about and discussing about the game. Whether that's a sign that they are trying to work on their chemistry, because we did not seem to see a lot of it in the past games. Well, we can only tell after tomorrow, because we expect a bit of an update to come through after that executive meeting. For now, that's it. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. But guess what? Very soon, we'll be starting something new. Well, you might see a lady you've not seen before could be joining us here very soon. So keep it here. Like, subscribe, and of course, again, it doesn't hurt for us to have more faces on the United Hotspot so that you don't get bored with my bearded dark face. Do I need a haircut again? I think I do. Bye.